any chance I get, to let somebody know that they can't fuck with me, it really doesn't matter.
I like that, dog. Cam Ward, some people say, is the least covered #1 NFL draft pick in a very long time. So to refute that, I'm going to continue talking about Cam Ward, because even if you put aside the things and the, yes, historic and largely major and legendary career year that he had at Miami, if you put all that to the side, his entire football run has been something of amazement. And it really comes down to what he believes. And he believes in himself, and he believes that he's going to change the NFL, not just the Tennessee Titans. I feel like they're buzzing around there, right? Not a lot of pieces of film come out of that tight ship over there, but everything I see is Cam Ward absolutely slinging it like we know him to do. Now we're going to get into a few pieces of his recent media availability, and I want to remind y'all of something. I do need to remind y'all of the accolades of Cam Ward before we get into that, because I know I've told y'all about him being at a wing T offense in high school. I know I told y'all about him only having an FCS offer, so he goes to Incarnate Ward and then goes to Wazoo and lights it up, and then obviously Miami, top tier. I think he was top 3, top 5 in Heisman voting. The crazy year, 4,000 yards, #1 overall pick. But let's not forget this: records set by Cam Ward. First in career Division I touchdowns at 178. First in Miami single season passing yards. And these are for Miami single season passing touchdowns and single season completion percentage. First in Incarnate Ward career passing touchdowns, passing yards, single season passing touchdowns, single game passing touchdowns, single game passing yards, single season passing efficiency. Wow. In Wazoo, which is if you don't know, please look it up. And it's extremely historic. First off, #1 in Miami is absurd, but #9 in Wazoo for single season passing completion and pass attempts, as well as single season completion percentage. #1 in Miami is crazy because there's been so much heritage, but it doesn't stop there. How about the awards Mr. Cam Ward has won? Here are the awards he has won. In college, Heisman Trophy finalist, obviously, Davey O'Brien, Manning Award, consensus first team All-American, ACC Player of the Year, Offensive Player of the Year, first team All-ACC, All Pac-12 Conference. Well, that's an honorable mention. All right. That's an honorable mention. All Pac-12 Conference honorable mention. Earl Campbell Rose Award semifinalist. Walter Payton Award finalist. Second team All-Star stats performance. Southland Conference Offensive Player of the Year. Hero Sports SCS Sophomore All-American. And very important, Jerry Rice Award. Very, very, very decorated a young man in Cam Ward. So when he says things like this,
I'm always locked in. Trash talk, it'll never mean nothing to me. It won't get to me in some type of way. I'm just somebody who likes doing it. And so what's the point of playing something that you love? You can't have fun with it. So, that's where it comes from. But, I mean, I love the game. And so any chance I get, to let somebody know that they can with me, it really doesn't matter.
I like that, dog. Look, man, there's been a lot of conversation. Okay, I'm about to get a little loud. Please, if I'm in your house, turn me down a little bit because you got to get that. Nah, man, because Shedeur Sanders, and I hate to bring him up, but they're going to be tied together. We talk about his confidence, whatever. That's separate. His is sometimes loud or whatever. If you worried about confidence, you better get out of Cam Ward's face, boy, because he plays a Conor McGregor. If you know UFC, he is Conor McGregor, Deion Sanders, if you will, incarnate. I'm Jalen Ramsey. I'm about to talk this hot in your face as a quarterback. Phillip Rivers, if he cussed. Yeah, because Phillip Rivers was a menace. Phillip Rivers, if he cussed. I'm going to get in your ass. That's what he did at Miami. That's what he did at Wazoo. That's what he's finna do to your favorite NFL team. He gonna play with you now. He gonna play with you. And again, like my man in the comments, D. Motley says, Shedeur talks the same way, and he's not wrong. But again, Shedeur's not. That's for a separate video. D. Motley, you gonna get me off track now. We gonna get Isaiah. You gonna get me off track. But to keep it separate, because that's for another video. I like this. That's why I like Shedeur. I'm gonna be over here. That's why I like Shedeur. That's why I like Deion Sanders. That's why I was a Conor McGregor fan. Hey, if you talk, I don't just like talkers. Like that's not cool. That's not fun. But when you talk it, and every time it happens, when you put them shades on and say it's Brady mode, and then you make Brady mode happen. When you say, "Hey, ain't nobody can with me," and then you do phenomenal things and you throw some phenomenal balls, right? And you throwing ropes like this. You throwing top tier velocity moonshots like this. Hey man, I think you can say that. I think you can say that. And let me address the chat because they're saying a few things. I'm not gonna go too off track. Salute gang. I'm at News Nation. Appreciate you, new subscriber. Brewster says, I am just not a fan of Cam Ward. Okay. He basically threw Shedeur under the bus in interviews with media looking to make fun of Shedeur, and Cam took the bait, downplaying his skills to deem himself better. It is what it is. Time will tell who got the goods. Now, Brewster, I appreciate you watching, but I'm sorry to tell you, but I can prove that that's a lie. So he said that y'all gonna get me off track. Y'all gonna get me off track. This is about Cam Ward, but Cam Ward came out and praised Shedeur. Not only did he praise Shedeur on the Busing with the Boys interview, but he praised it in his opening interview, saying he's one of the more skillful quarterbacks in this draft class. We're not gonna go there, Brewster. Don't be spreading those lies. My man Mark Smith says Isaiah Shedeur saved Cam from getting a lot of scrutiny, which shows what a good friend he is. He took all of their negativity so Cam wouldn't have. That's a good point, Mark. A lot of people, again, the way that people looked at Cam is just, hey, he's overconfident because he's had this long adversity-filled XYZ. But if you look at Shedeur's had some adversity. Shedeur played at FCS. Shedeur played at HBCUs, which a lot of NFL legends come from. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's a fair thing to talk about, but it doesn't take away from Cam Ward. You know what I mean? It shouldn't also take away from Cam Ward. It says, Gore says, sadly, Cam can talk like that, but Shedeur better not even look anyone the wrong way. That's the truth of it. D. Motley again says, I'm with you on that. Talk that talk and back it up. No, it's not. People took Cam shots at Shedeur. This who they thought Shedeur was. Okay, Robert's taking some shots, and iKing says Shedeur is like a swordfish. His throws are always on point. Okay, shout out to iKing. Now, going back to Cam Ward, regardless of how you feel about Shedeur, regardless of how you feel about the comparisons, because the problem, because they're going to continue to be compared. They train with each other. And remember, Cam Ward was used in some nasty ways to be against Shedeur. The media did that. Cam Ward didn't do that. But I never want that to take away from the fact that Cam Ward needs to keep talking that hot boy. Talk to him. Oh, it's a little quiet.
For the next 5 to 6 weeks before you report to camp, and will you gather with your receivers and some of the other quarterbacks and go over things just to kind of refresh everybody?
Just work out, stay in the playbook, and throw the fuck out the ball. So
we saw a pretty good back and forth with you
Okay.
and Jeffrey, I guess, from his first day back. What's that been like, and what's it been like kind of exchanging trash talk with the defense?
it's been good. I need somebody like that, especially somebody like Jeff who's gonna let you know he's there. Every time he's one of the best defensive tackles in the league, if not the best. I'm glad he's on my team. I'm glad he's not one of the ones who gets a chance to get a free shot at me. But I mean, I'm happy I'm playing with him. I know he's excited about my future, but I can't wait to get on the field with him on Sunday.
Absolutely. And again, to be fair to Cam, as much as he's confident, he often gives a lot of credit. And like I said, I'm never gonna go, never pin Shedeur and Cam. It's not gonna work because they're openly, they're brothers. Like my commenters are saying, it's just not gonna happen. Now let's talk about their head coach. We recently talked about Cam Ward, and we were talking about how the coaches. I think it was a coordinator said like, hey, he's here at 5 a.m. dog. Like he's beating coaches here. Here's another tale from coaches about like, dog, I'm telling y'all, Cam Ward, there's going to be, this whole draft class is going to be legendary. Like legitimately, when I say legendary, like I think there's going to be stories written about, Travis Hunter playing two ways, Shedeur, 5th round, Cam Ward talking while getting plays in his ear. Let's hear it.
Yeah, I'm not, I'll be honest, I'm not used to calling plays to a quarterback who's usually still talking when I'm talking to him. And that's great. And so I asked him after practice, and I said, just help me out here. I said, do you need me to wait till you finish? And he goes, no. He goes, I'm listening. So he's hearing what I'm telling him, and it was a pretty remarkable to see all the things going on and how much he's talking, but like his brain is still like with me, I guess is the best way to put it. Like when I'm calling a play, it's all he's doing, but he's listening to everything I'm telling him, and he enters right into the huddle and he calls a play and doesn't script the play call. And I thought that was actually kind of remarkable. I know I couldn't do that. So that's just kind of who he is. That's his personality. And again, if it was something that I felt like was detrimental to his ability to manage the offense and call it in a huddle and all that, I'd probably have a couple things to say to him. But he didn't miss a beat when it came to calling the play and being on top of it, and then executing when it came time to execute. So it was new experience for me, but it was fun.
So when I talk about talking that, but also backing it up, like this is what I mean. It's not just about scoring touchdowns and being whatever. It's also about this, right? Hey, I'm talking and I'm listening, and I'm listening, coach. I got you, coach. And if I mess it up, it's on me. But I gotta get into these real quick. I gotta get into them. I really gotta lay it out now. I'm not just gonna let y'all do whatever. And as a quarterback who's supposed to be confident, you got to keep that up. You got to keep these things up, man. Now, again, on Cam Ward, on what it is, on what he's gonna do to the NFL, I do think that we have to talk about the idea that, hey, this was a weak quarterback class. It was a weak quarterback class. And I think some people use that to diminish Shedeur. I think some people use that to diminish Cam Ward too, though. And I think it went starting off as, oh, well, Cam Ward is just a default number 1 overall. And it now has evolved to, wait. Oh, this guy can really throw. And it's so interesting to me because look, this dude was a problem. Y'all can go watch my videos. We were watching Miami games, and they were probably on the consistent factor of entertaining. Like Colorado is 1, Miami is with Cam Ward is right there at number 2. Those late night games going against Cal, all the other craziness, like it was insane. Like every other game I felt was like a down to the wire, last second, whatever. And Cam Ward, every single time, I'm talking about, I don't matter if he just threw a bad interception, if it was whatever, like you cut from the same cloth, Shedeur and Cam, dog. Every time it was asked him to do it, all right, let's do it. All right, let's march. All right, let me do some magical throw the ball out, you know what I'm saying, between my legs, behind my ear, you know what I'm saying? Well, I got 15 people on me. I got it, right? The composure is through the roof. The intent is through the roof. So when you do those things, when you control those things like that, dog, I want to hear you talk that hot I'm sorry. I need that. I need that. This is what a teammate has to say. This is Mr. Cody Barton, and this was saying he did get 2 interceptions. He did get 2 interceptions off game where I ain't seen no quarterback tracker over there for the Titans because, look, it's Cam Ward's team. It is what it is. But Cody Barton was fired up after 2 interceptions off of Cam Ward, what he's seen, and he's going to talk about what he's seen from the rookie. Before that, again, I am doing this live. I'm going to try to do some more live, so y'all let me know. If you're watching this on the YouTube channel, let me know if you want to see this again. But the YouTube channel, I got to talk to the people who are here live. They got some comments about the things I've been yapping about, and I got to, let them know what's good. So Mark Smith, who's been in here for a while, says, Cam is not better than Shedeur. Let's see how long Cam is on the field before Will Levis is back out there. Whoa. Now that's a hot take. That's a hot take. Only because I think Will Levis is garbanzo beans. I think he's terrible. Tyrone Finn, what's going on, Tyrone Finn? Shedeur says, he says Shedeur gonna prove you wrong. I don't deny it. And he says I think Cam is slightly better now, but in the long run, Shedeur will be fine. And if I can answer, because it's kind of both of those questions, I think the conversation is what's it called? That's not the conversation. It shouldn't be who's better. I think right now the conversation is floor and potential. And I think that's the reason why Cam Ward is number 1 pick and why a lot of people assumed Shedeur was a bottom of the 1st/2nd round pick, even the worst case scenario. That's what people thought, if we're being honest, right? And, some people thought number 2 overall, number 1 overall, XYZ. And that, for me, I thought that Shedeur was the most pro-ready quarterback. The reads, the ability, the timing, putting the ball in places and doing it in a consistent place. But with Cam Ward, you get like this explosiveness. You get this potential. You get this dynamism, and a lot of bit of the Mahomesiness, the arm angles. You get a lot more tools in the toolkit, right? So, I would probably ask you, are you someone who wants a bunch of tools in the toolkit, or do you want to be somebody who's practiced one punch 1,000 times? It's really dependent on how you want to slice the bread. But if an NFL team believes that Cam Ward can also, do that one thing to a high level as well as these other things, I don't think there's nothing wrong with it. But time, at the end of the day, is the only thing that's going to be able to tell this story. And I'm very, very happy to read it. Going on, Isaiah has to say Cam need to keep that ish going. That's what I'm talking about. Nate Edwards says Cam and Shedeur are Texas boys and best friends. Absolutely. Brewster says, I agree. Cam is not better than Shedeur. Wow. Okay. And that's how Brewster was saying some crazy. Oh no, he said that about Cam. Sorry. Every time I watch you, I can't hear the audio. I can hear you, but nothing else. Oh, y'all let me know. Y'all let me know if I'm having audio problems. I agree. What's it called? Cam's over. What's it called? They are blocked in. We got to make sure these live streams go throughout the seasons. I like talking ball with y'all. Oh, of course, y'all doing great. Shout out to Tyrone. Mark says, how come they're in not pocket watching Cam like they are Travis and Shedeur? You know the answer to that, Mark. You know the answer to that. Robin says, low me. Like when it comes to talking, Cam can talk crazy and actually does, but Shedeur doesn't even talk that much. He does what I'm saying. Like if you get Shedeur going, he'll talk, but Cam is looking to talk. Like he want to get that off, which I think is fun. You know what I'm saying? Isaiah says Cam and Shedeur are generational talents. Okay. They're going to change the league like Stephen Clay did. Okay. That's an interesting little comp. Okay. Y'all just not used to it. Trillion of Judah says Cam literally is proof that the narrative around Shedeur is BS. They say it wasn't skills, but the baggage / attitude that comes with Shedeur as to why he fell so far, it's just nonsense. I feel that. Oh, fell. Okay. I feel what you're saying. Isaiah says, are y'all not entertained? For right now, nobody talking NBA finals. It's all about the, all right. We're not going to slander the finals here, Isaiah. Mark Smith says they started calling him a quitter because of the bowl games. Then remembered they hated Shedeur and couldn't stop Travis with his now wife drama. Yo, they tried to do that. The bowl. He played two quarters for the bowl season and then let a young dude come in for a Cam Ward for Miami's bowl game. And for a whole time, they were trying to make it like a whole, oh my God, Cam Ward is a quitter. Cam Ward. That was some nasty stuff. That was nasty. Thank you for reminding me of that. The media can't make them brothers, minority. Shout out Heather. 50s is fabulous. He's proven every day that he's number one. Hey, East Coast Kev says there's a channel on here called Prime that actually does great film breakdown, Shedeur and other college players. Oh yeah, Buffton Prime does good stuff. Shout out to Mad Dog. Wait. Sorry. Shout out to you. Thank you so much for that donation. I am going to give some shout outs to some Colorado creators when we get into our Colorado section. But Buffton Prime does a good job. Thank you, sir, for that $5. But let's get into Cody Barton being fired up about his 2 interceptions on Cam Ward.
Yeah. 2 picks. Yeah. Cam's
What do you think about him?
Cam's awesome. Great player, and as a rookie to come in and, lead and command the way he has and take control of this offense, it's impressive to see. Just, you guys all seen his ability. He can make every throw. But, the physical ability is, very impressive. But just the maturity and the emotional maturity and so all that with it, is pretty special.
Yeah, and I think something, it kind of goes along with what we're talking about when it comes to why Cam Ward is really allowed to speak the way he does and get off what he gets off is solely because, there's also a bit of maturity that comes with it. And we have to address that. We have to address that there's with all the talking that comes with it, on the back end, there's other people saying that, he's also one of the more polished and more mature players that you've seen. So when you have a combination like that, I just think that there's nothing but positivity that can come out of someone who is set up in both of those ways with enough fire and tenacity and confidence to continue to elevate a team. But at the same time, the understanding of what it means to receive and take and give back to some of the veterans as well as some of the young bulls that will be coming up with them as well. I think Cam Ward is going to change the NFL for a long time. Now, as a Texans fan, this is where I'm supposed to get off my Oilers rant. And I want to take a little time here, because this video is kind of long, but I'm going to take some time here. I understand that Houston doesn't own the thing, that Houston is now the Titans. They changed this, the ownership. Guys, I get that. I get that. But you're not going to stop me from wanting them dang Oilers back in Houston, because y'all ain't using them. Y'all use them like twice a season sometimes. And y'all stop wearing. Just make them your primaries. How about it, huh? How about put a sword through the dang Oiler and do it? At least use them. Have some pride, at least. That's all I'm saying. But other than that, you'd be amazing. You'd be great. If you're watching live, stay live, because we're going to get into some more topics. But if you're watching on YouTube, thank you so much for watching. Like the video if you like it. Dislike it if you don't like it. Come join the lives at some time. Subscribe if you enjoy football content of all shapes, sizes, forms, and factors. And we'll hit you on the next time the sun shines. Continue to be great. Peace.